shit.
It's good to have you on the show today, Ralph.
It's good to be here, Rhonda.
So, shall we start with some generic questions, let the viewers get to know you before we move on to the more important stuff?
Sure, let's get started.
Okay, well first let's talk about your childhood. How was it?
Well, I grew up with my 2 older brothers and my older sister by my side. Our parents were immigrants from Russia. Isn't that pretty cool? And isn't it so ironic that I used to wear hand-me-downs as a kid?
Wow, a lot has changed since then, hasn't it?
It sure has.
Well, moving on to the next question. How do you remember your life as a young adult?
I remember high school like it was just yesterday.
Oh, do tell, do tell.
I dominated the court.
Yeah, I believe it said something about your love for basketball in this book, written by Jeffrey A. Trachtenberg, which we will get to later.
Well, anyway, back to my teenage hobby. I loved sports. I loved basketball the most, however. I looked up to players like Bob Cousy and Sweetwater Clifton.
Wow, it sounds like you were quite the athlete.
I was.
So, tell us about your first encounter with style.
Well, since I was the baby brother, the clothes went from Lenny to Jerry and then to me. And I was looking forward to getting most of the clothes they had. And plus, I was at a point in my life where I was dressing very preppy. And most people in my school didn't know what that was yet.
Wow. I believe in Trachtenberg's book, your first girlfriend, June, said he was molded and done. He was firm in his ideas about fashion, who he was, and how things should be. He molded my ideas.
I remember mine and June's relationship.
Yes, well, it seems you had quite an influence on others around you.
Thanks.
Which brings me to my next question. Is there anyone in fashion business who you helped the most, who helped you the most?
Well, actually, when I was trying to get Bloomingdale's to first buy my ties, they were very intimidating. I needed help. I needed someone who knew the business, someone who could help me out. Luckily, I remember I met someone at a trade show one time. His name was Joe Azen, and he also sold ties, kind of a perfect match, huh? Well, I called him up, asked him to be my mentor, and the rest is history.
Wow, what a fortunate coincidence you two met.
I'll say, without him, Bloomingdale's would have never recognized my talent.
Well, what do you say? Let's bring Joe on out. Let's bring Joe on out.
Hello, Rhonda.
Welcome to the show, Joe.
Ralphie!
So, Joe, how's it going?
Going pretty good.
Still working out old Rooster's ties?
Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Everyone, this is my old mentor, Joe. He was one of the most obnoxious guys in the business, but he had a way with the customers. That's why they loved him.
Good old Ralphie.
Yep, well, the buyers knew he was human, and that's what made him so popular, and I needed some of his success to rub off on me.
Yep, I helped him with his first big break.
Oh, yeah, and remember that little jingle you used to do, too?
Oh, yeah! Asen as in reason as in chicken as in rooster.
Well, how about we get back to that big break, huh?
Yes, well, my first big break was with Neil Fox. He actually got me my first job. Isn't that kind of funny? But this time, he ordered 100 dozen of my ties. He was one of the only people who understood me. He actually liked me. Most people just thought I was a joke.
Yep, Ralphie here did pretty good for himself.
Well, he helped me out, and it may not have happened without Joe by my side.
Aw.
Okay, well, we are just about out of time for today. After all, Ralph did very well for himself, despite the hardships he faced. He is one of the richest people in the world, and we hope to see him back in the show in the future. Well, everyone, let's give a hand for Joe Azen and Ralph Lauren.